Welcome to part two. If you didn't watch part one, we just reviewed Raw and SmackDown. Great show. Robbie, what are you doing? It
Good question. I don't know.
was a great start. All right, it is time
Yeah.
for the TNA report, but it is a little different because it is not last week's TNA. No, if
Mhm.
you watched the last episode, you know I got a show to review. TNA Unbreakable 2005. If you also watched the last episode, you know I went in way over my head. And the loser of this week's games will have to watch Victory Road 2009. Um, However, we are worrying about Unbreakable right now, so we're going to do Unbreakable and then we're going to do Rumble. All right.
You're
Here we go. Unbreakable. I actually tweaked my review of Unbreakable a little bit. So, from what I told you last time.
hmm
First off, I said they had an NFL style intro video where they started talking about like, oh, it's the biggest sports spectacle, and no, we're not talking about football. It's TNA wrestling,
No, we're not talking about football.
and I was like, that was funny. I like that.
Yeah.
But we have the first match: the Diamonds in the Rough versus the Three Live Crew. Fun fact: I originally had this match at a 3 out of 5.
hmm
After rewatching, I downgraded it to a 1.
Yikes.
It was the worst match on the show. Um, the only good things about it was that there was good chemistry between Ron Killings and Road Dogg from Three Live.
hmm
But there was no offense from the Diamonds in the Rough. It lasted 4 minutes and 20 seconds, actually. It lasted 4:20,
420. Nice.
which I kind of wanted to give it an extra point just because of that, but I didn't. And also, Conan didn't do anything in this match except get the pin, except tag in, hit his finisher, and get the pin. That's all he did.
Yeah.
So no, this got a 1 out of 5 for me. It's the worst match on the show. Then I put a note here. I said it's weird to see Monty Brown being built hard as a world title contender. Yeah,
Yeah. Marcus Corvan.
that is weird to me. That Monty Brown is being built as a title contender against guys like Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. That
Um,
is wild.
and he like they drill that in through like the first few matches of the show until his match. Because the whole
hmm
thing is he's in a stable with Jarrett, but then he gets to the jump. He gets to jump off before Jarrett on asking for a title shot. So Jarrett's mad. He doesn't apologize to Jarrett. Kip James comes out, Billy Gunn, says that he should apologize. Monty says no, and James and Monty are having a tag match later. So we'll see what happens there. But first, this next match was my first 5 out of 5 of the night because there is more than one. Austin Aries versus Roderick Strong. This got a 5 for me. This was a really good match. 2 stars
hmm
early in their prime. There was great technical wrestling in the beginning. Um, it was very high energy. They already had great chemistry between each other. It was an X Division showcase match, is what they called it. They definitely showcased. Like that was a really
Yeah.
good. I believe Austin Aries got the win on that one. The next match, this came after we saw another promo. This is where James told Monty to apologize. Monty said no. But it's Kip James and Monty Brown versus Lance Hoyt and Apollo. I had to look this up. Apollo looks a lot like a young Brian Cage. It's not him, but he looks a lot like Brian Cage. But no, pre-match tensions already shown between Brown and James. There's a lot of sneaky like behind the back tags between these two. Um, and this is what I put here. Hoyt and Apollo seem very unimportant in this match. They're just there so they have an opponent. Because all the commentary can talk about, all Don West and Mike Tenay talk about are Monty Brown and Kip James, like the tensions there. and with
Mhm.
Jeff Jarrett and the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. But no, I did also say good physicality in this matchup. And then I said seeing Lance Archer hit a picture perfect moonsault scares me. Lance Hoyt Archer was a non-factor in the ending spot because he was taken out. The whole ending spot was Monty had Apollo hung up in the ropes. James went for a kick. Apollo ducked out of the way, and James kicked Monty in the head. However, despite that, James and Brown still won
Mhm.
the match. This got a 3 out of 5 for me. It was a decent match. I think the reason it got a 3 is just because of the ending, honestly. Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin. Yeah, this got a 5.
Yeah.
What a match between these two, Petey Williams and Chris Sabin. The only thing that actually no, that's not this match. That's a different match. Um, this was a beautiful ending spot though. There was an almost a ref bump. Basically, what happened was Williams blinds Sabin. Sabin grabs the ref, thinking that it's Williams. It's about to hit cradle shock. And Sabin, like the ref gets out of it, but then Sabin hits cradle shock on Williams for the Abyss versus Sabu hardcore match in 2005.
Oof.
This got a 2 for me. And I put in my notes, this is one of the 2 matches where I had like little to no notes for this. But what I put here is for a hardcore match, it was very boring.
Mhm.
Like it was even with like there were multiple table spots in this match, but it was still very slow and very prodding. And I think it's because it's
Yeah.
Abyss versus Old Man Sabu.
Right.
But no, it was very slow, very plodding. Abyss got the win with a black hole slam, very predictable. So it got a 2 out of 5 for me. It was almost worst match of the night, if not for that opener.
Hmm.
Robert Roode versus Jeff Hardy, 4 out of 5. This is how you know I was paying attention. The only note I have is good match, interference, finish. No,
All
when
right.
that match was on, I was making the Jeopardy. But what I did see, it was a pretty good match. And the interference finish, Peter Williams came in, hit Jeff Hardy with a hockey stick, and Rude rolled him up. That's one of the things that I kind of did not like about this show. There was a lot of interference,
Yeah.
especially towards Team Canada. Like in a lot of these matches, there was interference. Some of it was botched, some of it worked, but there wasn't a lot of matches that ended with a clean finish.
All right.
Next up, this one was good, but it got a 4 from me for one specific reason. I'll get to it. AMW versus Team Canada versus the Naturals versus what was supposed to be Alex Shelley and Sean Waltman.
Shaw Woman no show.
Sean Waltman no showed. And the reason I docked a point from this is because of the whole Candido's brother thing. I
Mhm.
understand this was like a memorial match to Chris Candido, but the way they did it kind of sucked. The way that they had his brother come in kind of sucked because here's what I wrote. First, I said multiple stories in this match. By the way, AMW versus the Naturals was a story, but the main story was Waltman no showing and Alex Shelley going at it by himself. There was a lot of focus on Candido's brother, who was in the crowd, by the way. Shelley took a lot of offense as he was the main focus of the first part of the match. Um, and then I put here, so Johnny Candido just jumps the rail and then is let into the match as Shelley's partner just to get them both eliminated. Okay, then.
Okay then.
That is what I put. I actually put okay then. That was dumb. That was stupid.
Right.
That was a bad way to get the Candido family. Like I had no problems with Johnny Candido being in that match. It's a Chris Candido memorial match. Alex Shelley won the Chris Candido Memorial Tournament with Walton. So there was no problem with that. But the fact that he just jumps the guardrail from the crowd and then is let in the match,
Right.
kind of dumb.
Football.
um, and then multiple great spots in this contest after that. A1 from Team Canada is really over at this point in the crowd. Like people are actually bringing in bottles of A1 sauce.
That is hilarious. Oh,
AMW is taken out by Team Canada after Harris gets hit with the hockey stick. Again, the hockey stick comes in. He gets hit with the hockey stick and rolled up, so that one's done. The Naturals barely did anything in this match until the final two, like until the
mm,
final two teams came in, until it was just them and Team Canada. However, that final two spot lasted about half that match. So, Jimmy Hart on the megaphone is annoying. He was with the Naturals, and it was dumb.
right.
Naturals retain after Jimmy Hart interferes and takes out Eric Young. You see another interference finish. Next up is the NWA World's title match, or actually at this point it's just the world title. It's not worlds.
Mm.
It's hang on, I accidentally maximized my notes. 1 second, there we go. It's Raven versus Rhino in a Ravens rules match. This was a demonstrably better hardcore match than the Abyss Sabu. I put this though. I said the world title match is in the semi main, which is very interesting to me. It's not the main event.
Mhm.
Um, this is a Ravens rules match, so falls count anywhere. And then I put if you are looking for pure wrestling, skip this match. And then I said they got a pizza cutter. Someone tell Domino's. The crowd
Oh
chants.
no.
The crowd is chanting "We want pizza" at this point when Raven uses the pizza cutter on Rhino.
Sounds about right.
Um, Rhino slams Raven's head. Oh, Raven slams Rhino head first on a random beer keg that's just there.
Oof.
um, Rhino hit corner stops that were very obviously not connecting. Like they were like 5 feet away from Raven.
Oh no.
The flock cost Raven what would have been a win earlier in the match. However, Raven. Oh, and I also put this. I do not understand why the ref tried to stop the flock. It's no DQ.
Right. I
um,
love it when the ref forgets the roles.
however, Raven retains after a failed interference by Jeff Jarrett.
Mm.
There's that word again. Main event: Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels. Yeah, this broke my scale and got a 6 out of 5. What a main event that was! Holy crap! That match was awesome. I literally just said this match is amazing. Holy crap!
Yeah,
I
that
also brought up that Styles and Joe have a penalty kick contest on Daniels,
that was
which was
funny.
funny.
Stop kicking me!
And they were stiff kicks too. Like you can see they did
They
not.
they actually looked painful.
I didn't write it down, but I believe Styles won that one. I could be wrong on that. I didn't write it down.
I believe you're. No, I think Joe might have won.
Okay. Um, but Joe also walked in undefeated
Yeah,
in this match. Um, but no, this holy crap. 6 out of
right.
5. Overall the show gets an A minus from me. Because there was only like one really bad match with the
Mm,
first match, and then the hardcore match between Abyss and Sabu was really boring.
yeah,
But other than that, all the other matches were great. Especially the main.
of course. They got 5 stars
um,
for a reason.
yeah, exactly. But no, tune in next week for one of us, and spoiler alert, we already know who's watching it. Um, tune in next week for one of us to reveal probably the polar opposite of this show.
The complete opposite.
Victory Road '09. Um, but now it is time for the show that actually happened this week. Let's talk Rumble.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were a whopping 4 matches. This show.
4. And yet, despite that, the show didn't end until almost midnight.
Yeah, exactly.
So that might have been a good thing.
Yeah. But no, what we're gonna do, you're just gonna say the match, and then we'll give our opinions on it. Do a letter grade for the Rumble at the end.
All right. So the Women's Royal Rumble kicked us off. And my God, I'm gonna be honest, this was legitimately one of the best Rumbles I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It was just all over the place. The action was great, and the surprises were even better.
Mm.
Literally, the second person to enter the match, Naomi,
Yeah.
formerly known as Trinity in TNA.
I would just like to point out before he says the next surprise, I called it.
He did call the next surprise. He did call it. I had a bit of a suspicion that it was going to happen, but he did call and say that it was going to happen. And sure enough, at number 5, Jordan Grace, the TNA Knockouts champion, entered the Rumble, and it was really funny because I think it was right before she came in, I was saying if Jordan Grace comes in, I hope Naomi is still in the match so we get a face off because Jordan was the one that beat Trinity Naomi for the title, and sure enough, Jordan Grace comes out, and eventually we do get a face off between Naomi and Jordan. And it was kind of funny at first, they hugged it out, and then once they were done hugging, they were just they were just beating the crap out of each other. It was fantastic stuff. But no, Jordan Grace, freaking, she was fantastic in this match, and I really hope, if possible, they can bring her back in some capacity because she did a really great job. I will say
Imagine a TNA Knockouts Championship match at Mania.
that I would not complain at all. But yes, that those were the first couple surprises, and then after that it's pretty mellow,
Mm.
and then trying to remember. Oh yes, R-Truth entered the one Royal Rumble at number 24. It was supposed to be, well, Valhalla did enter, but when she was halfway down the ramp, R-Truth's music hit, and he interrupted and came down and took Valhalla's place. And he came in, and I believe almost immediately he got thrown out by Nia Jax.
Mhm.
So R-Truth once again being a national treasure. And while that commotion was going on, Valhalla did enter the match, and then 5 seconds later she got thrown over the top rope.
No,
So
that's look.
unfortunately, Valhalla is now tied for the shortest time spent in the Women's Rumble alongside Chelsea Green in, I think, 2023.
Mm.
So yeah, poor Valhalla. Oh, and also I forgot to mention this. when, when Valhalla came out,
Mm.
right before she came out, Michael Cole on commentary was like, "Oh, I wonder if she's gonna be wearing the antlers. I really hope she's wearing the antlers." And then Valhalla comes out wearing the antlers, and Michael Cole just has a meltdown. Like, he is so happy that this woman is wearing antlers. Like, I don't know when this happened or how this happened, but for some reason Michael Cole just likes Valhalla, and like he likes her feet, he likes her antlers.
So I can
Dude,
explain the antlers one because
please, I need to hear.
Botchamania explained this too to me. Michael Cole, the last time she came out antlerless, he kept screwing up the word and he kept saying antlerless, and Wade
Antlers.
Barrett kept correcting him.
Ah, okay, I see now. He wanted redemption. So he wanted to call it the correct word.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. But also, like Michael, be careful. She's married
Yeah, right.
to a big beefy man. You might want to step back. But anyways, also another thing I need to mention. So right before the Rumble, right, they were showing, I guess, like superstars arriving to the arena or like coming
Mm.
in, and one of the stars that they showed was Randy Orton.
Yeah.
He like, right before the Rumble started, he was out, on the ramp, kind of taking it all in. And yet, while he was on the ramp taking it all in, you could see in the background that Roxanne Perez's Titantron was playing in the back. So we were making jokes. Oh, they just spoiled Roxanne's entrance. Now we know that she's going to be in the Rumble. Yeah, we pretty much like the entire Rumble. We were just waiting, just waiting, just waiting. And then finally, at number 27, Roxanne Perez.
We're like, did they
Like, oh my
play
God,
us? What happened?
right? Like for a minute, we thought, oh, maybe they pulled her because they spoiled it. And then sure enough, here she is. Like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And fortunately, that wasn't the last surprise of the night because literally the very next number, number 28, finally debuting in WWE after like 3 months, Jade Cargill.
Let's bring up the elephant in the room, and that's that he wasn't in the room when it happened.
I was not in the room when she first entered, and I'm really salty about that. The one time I leave the room, that's when Jade shows up. But I did go back and watch her entrance. It's literally her AEW. It's literally AEW, but like like it's off. Like it's just a rip off from Def Rebel, her
Yeah.
theme. And they even got like a storm is coming, and her Tron is like it's literally her AEW. Everything about her is AEW. But no, she had a really good showing in the Rumble, and she actually lasted to the final three.
Mhm.
And the other final three, one was Bailey, and the other was the number 30 entrant, Mrs. 420 herself, Liv Morgan. I'm not going to explain that joke because I don't feel like it. But yes, Liv Morgan, after like 5 months or however long it's been, has finally made a return to WWE. And I guess she put on a pretty decent performance. But yes, the final three were Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, and Bailey. They fought out for a while. Liv and Jade ended up on the apron, I believe,
Mhm.
and Liv hit, I guess, an Oblivion on Jade, and she got thrown out. And then right after she was eliminated, Bailey swoops in and eliminates Liv, and your 2024 Women's Royal Rumble winner is Bailey. Solid choice, honestly. It was either her or Jade.
So my opinions on this match.
Yeah.
First off, right winner.
Mhm.
Bailey was definitely the right winner. Second off, best women's rumble match we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
By far. And I think you said it best last night. Over the years, the women's rumble has actually been more exciting than the men's with the surprises.
Yeah. And
I think,
overall,
yeah,
it's been a better match compared to the men's the last few years.
yeah. But couple of thoughts on the surprises. A, again, I called it.
Yeah. Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace. B, the R-Truth segment. The funniest part about that, and the part that you didn't bring up, was that Truth lasted longer in that match than Valhalla did.
He did. He
Because
lasted like 30 something seconds.
Michael said Valhalla lasted 5 seconds and Truth lasted 13. And that was
Oh, that that is hilarious.
and then the I'll you know what, you don't want to explain it? I'll explain it. The Miss 420 thing. I'm not gonna explain
Mhm.
it in detail because we're PG-13, but basically she had to get suspended because she got hot. Because she got hot. Because she got hot.
Yep.
Um but no, it was obviously it was honestly a really great Rumble, a match of the night by far, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah,
Um, I'm honestly looking forward to more of the women's Rumbles than I am the men's most of the time now, because these last few have just been stellar. Even the 2022 one, 2022 sucked, but that women's Rumble was match of the night.
oh yeah, that woman's rumble was great. Probably the only good part of the rumble.
Yeah, but no, I mean the women's superstar, the female superstars are killing it
Mhm.
whenever they have a Rumble, and I think the reason they have more surprises is because there's less females on the roster.
Yeah.
That would be the reason why there's more surprises, more people from NXT, more legends. Which actually, there weren't any legends in this match.
There were no legends in this match. The first Women's Rumble to not have any legends.
Yeah, that is interesting in my opinion. Actually, they had zero legends in this match, and it was still probably the best women's rumble that they've done.
Actually, if you think about it, that's a good thing because that means they actually have enough women or women that good enough to actually be in the Rumble,
Yeah.
so that they can actually use their current day roster, not have to
Mhm.
rely on women from like 10, 15 years ago.
Well, let's also point out that you called who would be number one in both rumble matches.
That is true, and I'm still laughing about that. That both of them were complete flukes, especially that first one. It literally could have been anyone, but
Yeah, we'll
it
we'll
was
get
it
to
was
what happened
Natalia.
in the second one.
We will, we will, but
But first we gotta get through the boring matches. Not really,
we do.
but
But compared to the women's rumble, they were meh. But
yeah.
to be fair, this match wasn't that bad. Surprisingly, the next match is the undisputed WWE Universal Title match. Reigns, LA Knight, Orton, and Styles.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, this was before the US title match,
Yeah.
but knowing the finish, I can see why.
Okay, the finish
Uh,
for both of those matches suck.
yeah, that's true. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, not a bad match. Even eventually, everybody kind of got the big picture of ganging up on Roman Reigns, which should have thought about that earlier. Pretty solid spots all around. This was the match where Randy hit everybody with an RKO and even caught Roman. Roman was going for a Superman punch, and Randy caught him with an RKO, which I thought was really cool. That was nice.
It was awesome.
But of course, knowing it's a Roman match, it had to end the same way literally all his matches end. And that's not even a joke. Literally every single match he has nowadays ends in the way that I'm about to say right now. Solo came out wearing a hoodie, assuming that nobody would know who he is, and interfered in the match. He took out Randy Orton and LA Knight, but when he tried to take out Styles, I'm pretty sure Styles, he it backfired.
Hmm.
Styles was leaning against the barricade, and Solo went for the running hip attack. Styles missed, and Solo went crashing through the barricade.
Awesome.
It was awesome. But unfortunately, that was not good enough because once AJ got back in the ring, Roman hit him up with the Superman punch and the spear, and Styles takes the pin. Roman once again wins and retains. So we probably won't see him again until around WrestleMania. Yay!
Yeah. No, I fully agree with your assessment of this match that it is just the same as any other Roman match. Um, and I kind of knew he was going to win when they brought up the
Hmm.
fact that he's never defended in a fatal four-way.
Yep.
They kind of spoiled it.
But yeah,
Which, to be fair, he wasn't going to lose anyways. But
right. I figured if he's got to lose it at all, it's got to be at Mania.
yeah.
I think that's the only
Um,
right place now.
but no, I've always been an avid sayer of Roman Rock does not need the title, but that's
Mhm.
looking like what it's gonna be. Whether it's at Chamber or whether it's in a triple threat with Cody, or even if Cody decides to go for Rollins for some freaking reason.
I don't think that's going to be an issue,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Thank God. Um, but no, overall it was fine. Match was decent. Um,
Mm,
was nowhere near the match before it.
yeah, but it wasn't that bad of a match.
Yeah.
It got a B from Bleacher Report, so pretty good. And next match before the Rumble, Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title. Logan Paul once again showed out. He
Yeah.
may be a terrible person, but he is freaking great wrestler. I will admit that.
Sadly. No.
Like, uh, and this match kind of had a bit of a crap ending, honestly, more crap than the last match. So they were having a great, back and forth. I guess one of Logan Paul's, I don't even know what you want to call it, entourage, maybe
Cronies.
group, friend, crony, yeah, sure. Came out, tried to interfere in the match, and the referees were trying to fend him off, but he slipped Logan uh, a pair of brass knucks,
Hmm.
and Logan tried to hit him, Kevin Owens, that is, with the brass knucks. He missed. Uh, Owens got him locked up, and he stole the knucks from him, and he smacked Logan Paul in the face with them. But it seems Kevin Owens forgot how to be a heel because when he went to pin Logan Paul, the ref counted to two, and then noticed that the knucks were on KO's hand, and he called for a DQ. Owens, dude, you were a heel for like 4 years. How could you
Right.
forget? You gotta discard the weapon. Like stick it in your pants, throw it in the crowd. Like how could you just leave it on?
Throw it at the ref. What? No.
Throw it out the. But yes, unfortunately, the match ended in a DQ because Owens forgot how to be a proper heel. It's been too
Over.
long.
Then it was saved because Logan Paul went through a table.
Yes, after the match, Owens drove Logan Paul through a table with a power bomb, and everyone went home happy. Although hopefully they didn't go home because next match is the men's Royal Rumble. Don't go home just yet. We still got some more action. Let me just talk about this real quick. Okay, okay. So, anyways, the first two members of the Rumble, I somehow got this right. Jey Uso started off at number one. I somehow predicted that, and because Jey Uso came out, I was like, oh, maybe we're finally gonna get Jey versus Jimmy, to start the Rumble. And sure enough, number two, Jimmy Uso. So I'm psychic apparently.
Yeah. No, I
That's
was
pretty
stuck
wild,
on that for a good 20 minutes.
right? And surprisingly, the only I guess real surprise really was Andrade
Mhm.
finally making his return to WWE. He had a pretty solid showing in the Rumble, and then he got eliminated.
Yeah.
I got something else that happened. Pat McAfee showed up in the Rumble and eliminated himself because he realized if he entered the Rumble, he would have to go against Braun Breaker and Omos, and I do not blame him one bit for eliminating himself because I would have done the same thing.
Hmm.
And the final three competitors in the Rumble, the men's Rumble that is, was Gunther, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. Final four.
Hmm.
Uh, McIntyre was taken out first, right after he was saying he was gonna get redemption, and then right after he said that, Punk eliminated him. Lol. And then shortly afterwards, we get I guess a deja vu from the year before
Hmm.
with Rhodes and Gunther, and eventually Gunther gets taken out, and the final two are Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Fantastic final two. They had like a bit of a mini match. They
Yeah.
went on for like 10 minutes just fighting, and then Punk just had to go and spoil the ending. He said, "I didn't wait 10 years to lose to Dusty's kid." And then 30 seconds later, he lost to Dusty's kid. Your men's 2024 Royal Rumble winner, Cody Rhodes. And I will say, me and David were both salty about this
We were
because
both
we
mad.
we both entered respective giveaways for certain things, and we both were given the number 27. And if the person at number 27 wins, we would earn an award. Number 27 was CM Punk, and he was the runner-up. So we're a little salty about that, but we move.
Moving past that, Cody was
Yep,
the right winner, I would say.
he was.
Especially since they kept hammering home that no one's gone back to back for 20 years.
We should have known he was gonna win before the match when they kept hammering home that he nobody has won back to back in like 25 years. But yes, hopefully this year we will finally see Cody finish the story. It is I it would make no sense to have him lose 2 years in a row.
I have to finish the story.
Oh, that never fails to make me laugh. That it's so stupid.
But no, overall, Robbie,
Mhm.
letter grade.
Overall letter grade, I would have to give this would probably be an A minus,
Mm.
honestly.
I think I would go for an A,
Mhm.
just because of the strength of that women's rumble.
Yeah,
Sort of carries it for me. So yeah, I'd say an A there, definitely. Um, Thanks for
fair.
watching the week in review. Come to part 3 and 4. We will have a special guest on the show for Jeopardy, where Robbie will have to face off against a special guest. If Robbie wins, I have to watch Victory Road 09. And if the special guest wins, he has to watch Victory Road 09. We already did this. We already recorded it. If you can tell who won, then I'm not doing my job correct.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you for watching.
very intense.
It was. Thank you for watching. Peace.